your knees, dog. All hail. Bow down to the king. Bow down to...
And with another Ono Wrestling podcast in the books, there must also be a Smark Check with your host, the Smark of Smarks Taylor from Ono Wrestling. The man that can give you the gift of knowledge instead of the gift of Jericho. And I know you missed that knowledge last week, but we're back. Now, normally on the Smark Check, we talk about all the things that the guys got wrong. Mostly Owen. Yeah, mostly Owen gets everything wrong. But I want to talk about something that happened right, and that is Duncan choosing the right woman. Any woman that will not only let you walk down the aisle with a WWE Championship around your waist, but also let you walk down to it while playing Glorious and having your groomsmen come down to the Nakamura theme, that's the right girl to marry. You don't let her go. And believe me, if you haven't seen what his new wife looks like, she is way out of his league. So Duncan, you got that right. But that may be the only thing you've gotten right this week. But let's start with Owen. First off, I don't know if Owen was joking or not about the whole that he thought Disco Inferno was in some weird tag team called the Bridesmen. I'm hoping he's joking. But if he really thought that was true, the only thing I can think of that he might have thought about was when he was with Alex Wright and they were the Dancing Fools, which was a god-awful tag team from the 90s. And while we're on the subject of things that Owen just got horribly wrong, don't ever quote me, Owen, if you're not 100% sure. I never said that the Usos did the best super kick ever. What I said was that super kick that we saw at No Mercy was maybe one of the best that the Usos have ever done, that Jay threw. I can think of about 10 guys, maybe in 15, that throw a better fucking super kick than those guys. But don't ever quote me unless you're 100% have it in front of you that that's what I said. You guys want to know about the people that had been hurt by the Style Clash. There's a handful of guys that have kind of gotten hurt but not really seriously injured. There are two people that have broken their neck, though. One is a guy named Lionheart, who is a British wrestler that in March 1st of 2014 tucked his neck, broke his neck, and actually wrote a letter to AJ begging him to stop using the Styles Clash, which is ridiculous to me because the fact of the matter is his whole reasoning behind why he should stop doing it is because the person taking its instinct is to tuck their chin, which I get. We've talked about that muscle memory. However, if you are in the same league as AJ Styles, you should be able to not tuck your chin. I know when you're exhausted and all this stuff, and yes, I'm not a wrestler, so I can only speak on the fact that if I know that this is the one thing to happen to not break my neck, then that is the one thing I'm going to do. The person that probably has gotten it the worst, though, is a former WWE superstar, but a bigger superstar in Japan, Yoshitatsu. Tucked his chin, broke 2 bones in his neck, and actually had to wear a halo on his skull for 3 years from taking the Styles Clash, and he tucked his chin, and it was nasty. Guys, you can look it up, but I'm amazed that it was only 2 broken bones in his neck. I thought maybe he was dead when I first saw it when it first happened. It was really gnarly. Okay, here's this misconception. Yes, people are saying that WWE probably is going to buy the TNA library. Even Jim Ross said that a sale is imminent. But as of today, every article I've read says that it's imminent, not that it's happened. They did, however, send out a survey showing the idea of this tiered subscription for the network. Instead of the normal, everyone pays $9.99, yada yada, they have like Plan 1, Plan 2, Plan 3, and they each include different things, and they each would bring you different access. For the Tier 4, the $14.99, the biggest thing, there is a section that says, and I quote, access to independent wrestling content such as TNA and Ring of Honor. Now, whether that means that they're going to get a deal with Ring of Honor and buy TNA's library, or if it just means that those are the only examples that really any wrestling fan might know is what they consider independent wrestling, even though TNA as independent wrestling is, I don't believe that, but even the shit show that they are right now. But yes, will they buy TNA's library? Probably. But the fact that Owen and Duncan are saying that it's already been a done deal is wrong. It hasn't happened yet. It'll happen soon. Hell, it could happen in the 20 minutes between me recording this and putting it up online. But as of this time, on October 13th, it has not happened. If it has, it hasn't been announced. Something else that you guys want to know, it seems that every time we do this, there's somebody's resume I gotta give you. So you guys want to know about Paige's mom. Alright, so Paige's mom is a wrestler that's known as Sweet Saraya. She debuted in 1990 in England, and she still wrestles for Shimmer and World Association of Women's Wrestling. And actually, World Associations of Women's Wrestling is a promotion her entire family runs. So Paige's family, because Paige's father is also an independent wrestler in England, they run in Norwich. But also, individually, Sweet Saraya runs another smaller all-women's federation called Bellatrix Female Warriors. And she runs that out of England as well. But as for her teaching at the Performance Center or them trying to keep Paige along to entice their mom, as far as anything that I have read, she is never taught there. They have never reached out to her to teach there. So them keeping Paige around has nothing to do with her mom. And realistically, I can't imagine Paige is going to stay around much longer, considering the fact that it just came out today. She was supposed to be having surgery next Wednesday, and because the WWE doctors feel that she does not need the surgery, then she will be probably paying for it herself. She's also said that she's gonna be out for 6 to 9 months, and has already basically said that she's gonna spend that time in recovery, traveling around with Alberto Del Rio to wherever he goes, which means she won't be able to do the rehab that WWE would want her to do. And quite frankly, with everything that's gone on with Alberto Del Rio and the WWE, her traveling around with him is a big middle finger. She will be gone. By the end of the year, I can't imagine Paige still being part of WWE. There was a whole lot wrong with that shit show idea of how they wanted a fantasy book Hulk Hogan back into WrestleMania. I'm only going to point out two things, though, because most of it is opinion. And here on the Smart Check, we're talking facts. First fact, Duncan, I know it's been a little while since you've lived here in glorious Orlando, but it is not the Citrus Bowl anymore. It is actually Camping World Stadium. I understand. I remember the Citrus Bowl. I actually went to the last WrestleMania at Citrus Bowl. But if we want to talk about facts, it is Camping World Stadium that will host the next WrestleMania on April the 2nd. The other thing that I just don't understand in your booking is that you think that Hogan, after having multiple hip surgeries, he can barely walk without the use of a cane, is going to be able to do a big boot or drop a leg drop. I'm pretty sure if he dropped a leg drop, there would be no getting him up. And I know we had a little discussion off air about this, and that you think that I'm going to apologize when it happens. Listen, if that dumpster fire of an idea that you guys had were to come to fruition, the most he would do would be distract KO so that Sami Zayn, who can actually, do something more than walk around and cut half-ass promos, could get up and get his revenge. There is no chance, absolutely no chance, mark the fucking tape, there's no chance that Hogan drops a big leg at WrestleMania. It would be amazing. I'll be there live. I'd love to see it, but it's not going to happen. Before I get out of here, though, guys, I did want to say that Owen kind of threw out there the top 3 finishers, and maybe we'll throw this out on the Facebook group to see what else you guys think. What I've always believed is a really good finisher is one that it can be done to anybody. Stuff like power bombs and pile drivers. If I'm Rey Mysterio, I can't do it to Big Show. And my other thing is, and I hate to say that because I hate the fucking RKO out of nowhere thing, but I like a finisher that can have a ton of different variations and can come from out of nowhere. So I would have said the stunner, and I would have said HBK's Sweet Chin Music, really just the super kick in general. But since those guys took that, what I'm going to say is the DDT, either from Jake Roberts or Raven, because they were both very good about just kind of snapping it in there. The Diamond Cutter, not the RKO, the Diamond Cutter from DDP, because even though every once in a while Randy Orton finds a cool way to do the RKO, even though they say it's out of nowhere, it's always from the same setup, whereas Diamond Dallas Page made a thing of being able to literally do it out of nowhere. Like from a handshake, he would do it. He would do it out of a lariat, out of a power bomb a couple of times. Like that's a real out of nowhere, and it can be done by anybody. And a newer one that I was really thinking about is the Codebreaker. I love Chris Jericho, and I will always love the Lion Salt, and I will always love the Lion Tamer. Those are amazing. But the Codebreaker, he has found some genius ways to do it, and he can do it to the tallest guy, to the littlest guy, and it can look amazing and stunning and great. So those are my top 3 finishers for what was left over, because obviously we don't want to have repeats. And the guys will talk about it more next week. It sounds like Owen wants to talk about it. We'll throw it up on the Facebook page. Besides that, guys, that's all I've really got for this week. And we'll see you again next week. And this time, let's go out with something to talk about Duncan's wedding one more time. That glorious, glorious wedding. Until next week, everyone, just drink it in.
No, I won't give in.